Hi, I'm Denise. Welcome or welcome back. I'm an amateur for life and I'm just here to really check in. I have a few different things that I want to just make a few videos about. I am really just getting started. So everything that is here is because I am an amateur at life and trying to learn as I go along the way. And hopefully there are some of you out there who are also trying to learn as you go. Creating YouTube videos is a creative adventure all on its own. I know it's kind of in the name. It's called, people are content creators and they put a lot out there. And in learning all of this, there was a lot to kind of start to figure out for myself. And honestly, it just has not been an easy road. I'm still figuring out what works for me, and that's why you don't see too many videos as of right now on today's date, which is July 18th, 2025. I have just a handful of videos. I don't even think I even have 10. And I've been doing this. I created this channel in 2023. I didn't post my first video until June 2024, and now we are in July 2025. I am actually a few days away from turning 34, so that is super exciting. And one of the things that I want to promise myself as I start this new stage in my life is to create and figure out what works for me in this creating space. There's so much out there, so many wonderful teachers, and some of it works for me and some of it does not. I am still trying to figure out what works for me. I know there's so much out there about just get started, just post, just etc. And I found that doesn't actually work for me. I know that there are, again, really wonderful creators that I love, I follow, I watch their videos and have great strategies. And I want to be that, but I want to be that in my own way. It doesn't feel authentic for me to batch create just yet. It doesn't feel authentic to me to have like a fixed schedule just yet. In fact, for me, it feels very right to not post very often. It wasn't until recently that someone told me that it's okay to just figure out my style as I go. So, if you're like me and you're feeling like, oh God, I'm falling behind, everybody's telling me I need, all these creators who know exactly what they're doing are telling me to do A, B, C, and I just really can't even do A. That's okay. What I'm kind of doing is starting backwards. So I have found that the more I pushed myself to kind of just do something and create something, the more I resisted myself. And I kind of want to talk about that and some things that I've kind of done to kind of ramp myself up again. So I am in the midst of finding this exciting again, as opposed to just like, really what happened was I shut down for a little bit there. If you saw some recent videos, I had some really exciting life events happen, like my engagement, and I also had some really sad life events happen, like some family members passing. So I think in the midst of everything that has happened, I kind of got lost in the day-to-day and really took comfort in work, family, friends, and we all need to do that from time to time. But in kind of like bringing myself back to what I really want to do, and that is discover what this can become, this platform. I kind of figured out a way to kind of get myself started. And this isn't foolproof. I'm an amateur. That's the point of this channel. And so I just want to see if this works for others out there. So I started backwards. I didn't want to just, I wanted to start with what this could look like. So for me, I actually ended up thinking 10 years from now, right? I don't know what's going to happen. Even in the past 5 years, I was reflecting back. I didn't even know my partner 5 years ago, and now my life looks completely different. There's a lot of it that looks the same, right? But now there's so much that is structured around these changes. I have a whole new career. My friends and I have gotten into more deeper relationships. People are in different stages of the life. And now I'm going to start entering a different stage in my life. And some videos are coming about that, but about the artistry aspect of it, I wanted to picture what would come, let's say 10 years from now. I gave that earlier, but I'm not always like a structured kind of gal. I just want to give myself what this could ultimately look like for me. And for me, it can look like a few different things. Or for me, I would ideally want it to look like a few different things. Of course, I want it to be a platform. I want it to be a resource. And the way I want it to be a resource is going to have multiple different layers to it. I don't want to talk about what exactly that breaks down into just yet, but my recommendation is start by thinking about what this will look like in the end, long term, down the road, and go backwards from there. When it comes to kind of defining that, what do you need to happen for that to unfold, for that to start to develop? What's the foundation? You know, you can kind of go backwards from building the house, essentially. So you want to see the house, if we're going to use an analogy, right? You want to see the house done, painted, beautiful, structured the way you want it, and you want to go backwards with, okay, so do I want it to be, is it 2 stories? What do you need for it to become 2 stories? You need the first floor, right? In that, do you want it to have a basement? What is it filled with? Before you paint everything, it has to kind of be structured and filled with all of these other things. And maybe I've lost the analogy at this point, but point is, you want to see it done and you want to go backwards. And then right now, the other thing is I am trying to figure out my style and figure out what works for me. So my other recommendation in that is try and figure out what works for you. Yes, collect. So figure out what works for you, and my recommendation is to collect. And what do I mean by that? I mean, collect your B-roll, collect your passages, collect your video ideas, write them down, collect videos like this, right? Like I have started to just tell myself, just like turn on the camera. For me, I've been collecting B-roll. That's been what feels good right now. So I've been taking videos of just beautiful scenery that I really love, like in my day-to-day, going to work, you know, living in my apartment. And I've been writing down video ideas as they come, right? Like these could have been common sense to some people, but once I moved from the backward aspect of trying to figure out what worked for me, from, you know, the very background, the very end goal, to figuring out the foundation and what I wanted to look like, did I start getting inspired to actually start pulling out my camera. It's on my phone. It's easy to do. But it made it easier for me to decide, oh, in this moment, I just recorded that. Or I could just record this. Or let me turn on the camera, and exactly what I did today, let me turn on the camera, let me talk about it, and let me just collect that. Let me just collect it in my phone. Let me start uploading them into my cloud so then I could pull them when I start to edit in the software that I use. CapCut is what it was. It might change soon, but I don't know just yet. And then kind of go from there. The other thing that I'm doing along this path is also restarting something called The Artist Way. The Artist Way is a book. I actually picked it up. I actually don't know how the focus is going to be here, but let's see. This book by Julia Cameron, I have bought 2 of them because I lost one. Both of them I bought from Amazon, and now I've bought it a 3rd time on my Kindle because as much as I love physical paper to pen, I can't carry this. I would carry this every day, I really did, but I have to carry my lunch, and now I've started meal prepping, so I have to carry my breakfast, and I have a water bottle that I carry, and it got to be too heavy. So I have a Kindle, and I decided to rebuy the Kindle, and that's a long-winded way of me recommending you to buy this book. So what it is a book It's called The Artist's Way, and on the cover it says a spiritual path to higher creativity. So essentially it's helping you. It's kind of like a workbook, although I would still say it's a book because it has, yes, workbook prompts, but it also has stories along the way to guide you. And essentially it is for everyone and anyone who is an artist of any kind, or who doesn't even think of themselves as an artist but wants to add a little creativity into their life, which I think is everybody, to kind of give them a step-by-step to how to do that. It breaks it down into 12, it's multiple chapters, more than these, but it's 12 different weeks and a focus to each and every week. It gives you workbook prompts at the end of each chapter, and also it requires you to utilize 3 things. 1, this book, to review it. I would recommend starting the first few chapters, the first, I think, 2 chapters. It's an easy read. And then the first week. So those 3 different chapters. To get an idea of what it's like, and then focus after you read the first week chapter, because it really does break it down, week 1 through 12. And after you read the first week, just fulfill that week. Just like read it at the first day of the week. Like, let's say your week starts on a Sunday. That's how I like to break up my week. Some people might start on Monday. Read that chapter for that week, that day, and then focus on that theme the whole week. I wouldn't recommend jumping ahead. You're going to overwhelm yourself. But some people, they might work that way. That's great. That's one tool, the book. The book itself, just hold it this way. Tool number 1, the book. The second 2 tools are more for yourself. So the first one is the morning pages, 3 handwritten composition. It can be a composition book or a journal of any kind. I like using books that are 8 by 11, and lately, because those have started to really stack up, I've been a journaler since I was in middle school. Those have really started to stack up, and I love to keep them, but it's gotten to be difficult with the space in our apartment and just overall logistically trying to protect them. I've lost some of them to water damage from a previous home. But so now I have something called the Remarkable, which is again 8 by 11. So I love those. Let me pull out an example of what that looks like. The good thing is that my bookshelf is right behind me. So this is an 8 by 11. If you see, I even have the dates of when this actually happened. This is jam-packed. This is a completed journal. To just give that example, if you saw a TikTok video of mine, this is actually the book that I used in it. Fun times. So that's the second tool, is the morning pages. 3 handwritten pages, so that one front, one back, and one front of the pages, handwritten, free written. Just put words on the paper and let yourself just word vomit on the page. I know that's just a really gross visual, but that's exactly what it is. You just put it on there, anything, and it explains to you why you do that and how it works. So do it. I've been doing it for over a year now, and I swear the changes I have seen in just myself are probably invisible to everybody else, but for me have been life-changing. And I think the best example I can give you is, I don't think as hard. I'm a chronic overthinker, and I don't overthink as much about what I said to somebody or how someone's going to feel about it. I'm still mindful, or at least I like to think I am, but there would be days where the anxiety would be so debilitating, it would absorb my entire day, worried about the one thing that could have been misinterpreted by somebody. And now I'm like, they could have misinterpreted it, and I just have to trust them and their perception of me and our relationship, that it was well taken, or I was given the benefit of the doubt, or I have the opportunity to just fix it later. But that's huge for me. But again, invisible to everybody else. The third tool in this book is the artist date. And funny enough, I actually just came from my artist date. This is my first one. I've restarted this again. I have done this at least 4 different times, this entire book. And it's been super helpful each and every time. If you're curious about how and why, other than that one example I just gave you, Let me give another one. And then if you're curious about more, I'm absolutely happy to elaborate. I love, 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 love this book. Recommend it to everyone. The first time I went ahead and did this book, I think was 2016. It was either the end of 2016 or the beginning of 2017. The point is, I went through a bad breakup, and my therapist said, you need something to do that is going to be about you and like getting yourself out of this idea that this is like the biggest, worst thing ever. And she recommended this book. And I just like did it for a whole year. It's 12 weeks, right? But I did it 4 times for the sake of just really getting to know myself. And in that year, the pages themselves went from, I can't believe this man ended things with me, and just being all about him, to by the end of the year, me being like, what do I love to do? What do I want to do with my career? What do I want to become? What do I have now at my disposal? And I was actually working full time, and I worked at a job that provided, I worked in education, which went hand in hand in opening the door to a master's program, with tuition mostly paid, tuition remission. And through the morning pages, I discovered what career I wanted to pursue, because I had been working there for about, I'd say 2 years or so, and I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do. I had an idea, but I just could not decide. And I didn't want to pursue a degree for the sake of pursuing a degree because of the tuition remission. I wanted it to be something I was passionate about and dedicated to, and also ready to do. And through the morning pages, I discovered it. I had a lot of help along the way, of course. I didn't do any of this by myself, but it helped me kind of hone in on being able to be able to identify what I needed to pay attention to. So when someone was giving me advice that was really helpful, I was actually able to take it, listen to it, and decide if that was for me. Okay, and then, so yeah, the artist date, the artist date is a date with you and yourself. That's it. You choose something that you want to do. It recommends around dedicating 2 hours to yourself once a week. I know that sounds crazy, because everyone is so busy, so tired. I'm tired. And I didn't want to go out today. But I told myself, let me just try it. And I actually stumbled upon, I'm in New York City. And if you're from the city, and you were born and raised in the city in New York, like I was, that's my cat's food falling. So if you're from the city, then you know the city is Manhattan. You know that you don't want to go into Manhattan unless you have to. But today was one of the days that I was like, okay, my fiance was going into Manhattan. He was going to go hang out with friends. And I was like, let me tag along and at least get myself out to do my artist date. And I didn't even know where I was going. But I went to Bryant Park, and I actually stumbled upon a summer event. And it was a musical band who was there playing, and it was so much fun and amazing. And I just got to sit there and I started writing pages. I did not put in headphones, and I just was like by myself, right? Once he and I parted ways, I just kind of roamed a bit, and then I stumbled upon it, and I just decided to park myself there. And I wouldn't have had any of that experience if I hadn't decided I was going to go for an artist date. And it's also it was nice to be inspired by others and see and remember that, yes, it's really lovely to be home. I love being home. I love doing nothing. I really do. But I also was inspired by how many people just really get rejuvenated and enjoy sitting on the grass, dancing in New York City, in Bryant Park. Yeah, no, so that's it. It makes you, it helps. And so you have to dedicate 12 weeks, right? And that means 12 artist dates. That means multiple morning pages. And it kind of breaks it down all the way through here. And every week has those workbook pages that you kind of can help in terms of processing some of the information and kind of really getting into the groove of the theme of every week. To preview week 1, which I'm currently on right now, and I haven't read the first chapter, but I just decided if I don't go on my artist date for this week, I'm not going to do it, and I'm pretty sure I would have been right. Chapter week 1 is recovering a sense of safety. And yeah, you probably noticed my underlines and my parentheses and stuff. And at the end of it, it gives you affirmations after you've read through it, but also, let me take out, I have a bookmark in here. But it gives you numbered prompts for what to kind of like help you process and how to creatively go about it. And all that to say that I hope that this kind of helps me find my process along the way and helps me figure out what feels good for me. Not just, and again, like I said, this isn't just, not just, but this isn't only going to impact my YouTube, but it's also going to kind of seep into the rest of my life. And it's already started doing that. Again, just with the morning pages. I knew that was a tool I had at my disposal. So I just started to do them again about a year ago. I've kept it consistent. Yes, I've missed a day or two every so often, but it's been so impactful. And I wanted to revisit the entire thing just to like really bring it back to what I want to learn about myself in this process as I step into, tying it all back together here, as I step into this new phase of my life, being a fiance, becoming a content creator, seeing what feels good to me, and learning about myself in that process. So yeah, I think I've chatted a lot, so I'm just gonna leave it there. When will I post this? I don't know. What will it look like? I don't know. What will the title be? Who knows, right? But I got the B-roll. I'm collecting this video. I'm collecting morning pages to learn more about myself, and hopefully that'll start to kind of showcase and show itself and become exactly what it was always meant to be, and support me in the way that it was always meant to support me, and always, continue to bloom the way it needs to. But yeah, all right, if you've been here till the end, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for even trusting me in even thinking about taking a recommendation of what I just spoken about. And I hope that you are continuing to learn. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to grow and what's my catchphrase here? I want us to keep going. I want us to keep growing, and I want us to learn from each other. So keep going, keep growing, and we'll see each other on the next one. If you are curious about what's coming next, either in the new stage that I am in my life, I'm gonna put some information out there about the fiance aspect of life, wedding planning, adulting, overall, the artist way, content creation. Please follow along for more. Subscribe, comment below, let me know what you want to know more about, let me know what you've been inspired by. I'd love to learn from you. And that is my cat Canelo. So I think that is my cue to wrap things up. Thank you again, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye. Do you guys want to see a cat?